What's up, guys? Boogie back again. So, guys, I have a very interesting compilation videos we're going to be going through, maybe six or seven or eight, whatever the number. You guys rock with me, so you're going to have to watch. So, thank you for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like. So, the first video, it's all about dating. As you know me, I do reaction videos and commentary analysis about the current dating scene. It's crazy out here, right? So, the first video, this lady He's going to talk about how she cheated on her husband. She was married, I think, for a couple of years, and he took her back. And the question is, would she do the same? The question is, should married men take back women or their wives who cheat on them? Is that the way to go? Does that promote anything good or bad? Without further ado, and I'll be linking down below all the videos, all the links, because some of the videos are very long, so I don't get the chance to finish them. But also, I don't finish them because I want you guys to go to those people's channels, subscribe, follow them, support them, and watch the full conversation. You know, here I just give my opinions and see if you guys agree or disagree, because we all, ingest information differently and we see it differently. All right, without further ado, let's go.
I was with Jesus, and the Lord was like, I see you.
That's it.
Here she is.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. Ladies, look, I mean, I get it. I was that girl that was like, they're not out there. I'm just going to settle for this. Dude, my husband proved them all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say too, you're just scared, ladies. You're just scared. You're scared, to be honest. You're scared that if you stop hunting, if you stop looking, that the Lord is not going to provide. And he might say your whole life is to be single. That might actually be his call for your life, but more likely it is to be married. And he's faithful and his timing is perfect, and he wants you to trust him.
Yeah.
And so, in some cases, I feel like in my case, my husband was used by the Lord to take me to my end. And so meeting him was not really what I wanted. I wasn't looking, but it's because I wanted to play, you see. So that was different.
And the Lord knew what you needed.
He knew what I needed.
Sometimes we forget God is a father.
Justin. I needed my Justin. I need my cowboy.
Yeah, there you go.
He's a cowboy.
One thing I dislike about these conversations is like they use God when it benefits them. So everything she talked about when it comes to God, it was to her benefit. Oh, God wants me to be single. We never hear, you know what? I'm single because God wants me to look in the mirror and see what things I need to work on so I can find a partner, so I can find someone who likes me, who appreciates me. We never hear, I'm single because God is punishing me for treating my boyfriends, my girlfriends badly in the past. All we ever hear is, I'm single because God wants me to be single and it's best for me, and that's it. We never hear the other side of the conversation.
So the words that changed my life, Ryan, the words that absolutely changed my life, my husband said them to me through the Holy Spirit after I had been cheating on him for 3 years with his best friend. We had 2 kids, 3 and 6 years old. And he could have walked away, should have walked away, could have. And when all this came out, and I hid it for 3 years in the church, when all of this came out, he looked at me and listen, a good therapist knows your feelings are valid and you can feel all of those things. He was mad. He was hurt. He was confused. He was disoriented. All those things were still true. None of that was underscored or not a part of his experience. But what was also a part of his experience, because he had been submitting and surrendering to the Lord so faithfully for so long, was he literally looked at me, and all I expected him to do was exactly what every man had done in my life, my dad, all these other men, was to leave.
And that's what he should have done. For 3 years, you cheated on him, and now you are using God, claiming it's God who made him stay. Maybe he stayed because he was weak. Maybe he stayed because he didn't have the guts to, look down at you and be like, hey, listen, this is wrong and I'm moving out. Because if we roll if we switch roles, because she's crying and everything, acting the victim in the situation, and obviously some ladies are going to be on her side, but if the roles were switched and it was a guy saying he cheated on his wife for 3 years and God made her stay, do you know how he would be getting abused online and insults against him? But now she's saying God made him stay. No, he stayed because he's weak. I'm going to be honest. In fact, if I was him, the first thing I would do, I would go DNA test the kids. Because if you're saying you cheated on him for 3 years, and those are the years you said, because no one can confirm. It could have been 5 years, could have been 10 years. You only told us 3 years. Who knows what the true number is? He needs to go get a DNA test ASAP.
And instead, he looked at me and he said, Casey, I don't know how to not love you.
See, weak. I told you. Weak.
I don't know how to not love you. And Ryan, that was it. That was it. That is when Jesus became my Lord. That is when I got grace for the first time in my life. I realized that that is what Jesus had been saying to me all along. You don't understand, girl. You can run from me. You can hide from me. You can be mad at me. You can do all these things. And the reality is, I don't know how to not love you.
Yeah.
See, listen, as much as I want to give her grace for coming out and, being honest, because maybe if she never came out and she just kept it to herself, he would never find out. It happens every day. Men raise kids that are not theirs because their wives cheated, right? So I'll give her some grace. But the matter of fact is, if it was her husband on a podcast talking about how she cheated for 3 years and she just stayed with him, no one would want to listen. No one would feel sorry for him. And if he gave the crocodile tears, they would just go in on him. Of course, the ladies would be telling her to leave. Know your worth. Think about your happiness. Things like that. And we see it every single day. So that's why I'm saying if the roles were switched, yeah, this wouldn't pass. No ladies would agree with him that, hey, it's okay to cheat and get forgiven. And the issue is they use God in these situations. I'm not saying no one is perfect. I get it. We're all sinners. But we shouldn't use God to play victim.
I am here to love you. The word was spoken and creation was a breath of the Lord. And in that breath, I knew your name. And I knew when you would be put on this planet, and I knew what your storyline would be. And I mean, it's just Jesus is pursuing us from eternity. He was born to pursue us. He doesn't know anything else. And in that moment, my husband gave me that picture. And if he were here, he would tell you that is not what he felt.
There's one thing I know for sure, because she keeps using Jesus this, Jesus that. There's one thing I know for sure. If Jesus told that man, hey, listen, you have wife 1, she will love you, she will never cheat on you. And you have wife 3, she will love you, and then she will cheat on you, and then she will ask you for forgiveness to take her back. Guess which wife that man would choose? Obviously, wife number 1. So that's why I said for me, he's weak. It's not because of Jesus. It's not because of ABCD. Because if the same Jesus gave him options of wife 1 who won't cheat and wife 2 who will cheat, he would choose wife number 1 any day. So for me, I don't believe it was because of Jesus. I believe he stayed with her because he's weak.
Isn't that beautiful? I hope one of your listeners just soaks that in right now as their reality and their truth. Like, that is for you. He does not know how to not love you. So whatever you've done, whatever you're doing, whatever you will do, his love is not compromised.
Yeah, but that's God.
You're gonna wake up then tomorrow, and he's gonna come after you.
But we're not gods.
Dude,
we're humans.
I want to serve that God.
Mm-hmm.
And so, right then and there, my whole life shifted. And of course, it was a journey. Everything shifted. I mean, it was a mess. It was a messy, messy small town in Texas mess where everybody knew or thought they knew everything, you know. And we had to move towns. We had to start over. And my goodness, what a journey it's been, moving from I believe in you to I believe you.
Yeah, that guy is cooked. I'm going to be honest. Like I said, he needs to go DNA test those kids. That's the first thing I would do if I was him. But secondly, I'm going to be honest. He is weak. Like I said, if he found a woman and God told him 100% sure that this woman will never cheat, he would pick her over this one. But also one thing I know for sure, at the back of his mind, he's never gonna trust her the way he did before. And rightly so. It's just like if a man cheats on a woman, she will never trust him. Whether he looks at another woman, any interaction with another woman, that's the thing that's always gonna come at the top of his mind, at the top of her mind, that hey, this guy cheated on me before. He probably is gonna do it again. You know?
I actually get up in the morning and I am not scared. I'm not scared. I think to myself, what a mercy, what a grace this life is. What a beautiful life. And it is hard. It is full of hard. And every hard thing helps me receive him more and trust him more, honestly. And
yeah, for me, this just tells me that she probably could do it again. And then again, it will go back to, I'm sorry. And then she will have to rely on him to believe in Jesus and Jesus to make him forgive her. Because she's probably more susceptible to do it again, to cheat on him again, and claim she fell short of the glory of God and she backslid. So, I mean, I wish him the best, but for me, this would be, you can't take it back, especially in a marriage. In a relationship, sure, we're not married, go your way. I get it. But for me, that would be a deal breaker. What do you guys think? Would you guys stay with your wives if they cheated for 3 years and then, you have to forgive them and stay with them because Jesus said so? So I'll put full link down below to this podcast so you guys can go finish the whole story. As you see, it was an hour, 15 minutes. Peace. Let's go. Next. Shout out to Lapif Azores. Firefire conversations recently. This was crazy. So let's go. Let's get into it.
Because I've never really seen what like being feminine and dominant looks like if you were to interact with like one of the men on the panel. Because I'm curious how that
I've been showing it all night. I'm pretty damn dominant, and I think it's pretty obvious. I don't understand how other way to explain it besides me stating my opinion and standing on it and not allowing people to make me feel bad for having an opinion. I don't know. I just feel like people get in their heads where they feel like this is the way the world looks for everybody, and that's not the case. And a man is not less masculine if he decides to have a dominant girlfriend. Some men are passive. Some women are vocal and expressive and dominant, and some men like that and cater to that because their mom was supposed to step away.
The issue is women never respect those men. In the long term, eventually she gets bored. She sees him as weak. She respects him less and less and less over time.
I don't know what happened to them, but
those women are also masculine, aggressive.
Am I masculine?
Really date them.
I look masculine to you, or do it look
far in between? That chin a little strong, girl.
And it looks fabulous, and you're mad
about it. What if tomorrow your boyfriend calls you and say, "Hey, look, I think it's time to have kids. I want to have kids." What are your response?
I'm gonna say, I don't know. We gotta talk about that because I want to get my master's degree and I want to do things in my community, and that might hold me up. So maybe we're not on the same page.
Lord help him.
Yeah, because I am helping them, and that's what I want to do. Everyone,
you think you look feminine? Andrea, you think you look feminine?
I think I look amazing and beautiful and vibrant and confident and sensational. That's what I think.
I mean, apart from the sassy, I get it. You know, she's trying to be sassy on the panel against everybody. She looks good, if we're gonna be honest. So maybe that's where the ego comes from. Maybe that's where the sassiness comes from. Because if I was also one of very, you know, I consider myself good looking, but not like handsome. But if I had that amount, because I can guarantee you, she has so many guys in her inbox. So I can guarantee you that also helps with her ego. You know, on average, she's a very good looking woman. So many guys want her. So guess what? Her ego and confidence is going to be high. So she can talk the way she talks. But if she had a dry inbox, dry DMs, she wouldn't be talking the way she talks. So for me, I think that's where the eagerness, the sassy and entitled talk comes from.
Yeah, I was really just so let me rephrase this. Andre, do you think that femininity is a look or it's a behavior?
Both.
You muted. Andre, you muted. You muted.
Okay. I think that what's understood needs no explanation. I mean, if you're feminine, you're feminine. I mean, you don't even have to necessarily be a woman to be feminine. People are walking around making choices for themselves, deciding how they want to appear in the world based on them being masculine or feminine. So I don't think it's just, and then everyone has the ability, even men have the ability to be feminine or masculine.
That's
I mean,
true.
it's a spectrum, and I don't think that us sitting here defining duties and things like servitude as a way to like say you're more feminine, I think that's crazy.
Okay, so her issue is she doesn't like the gender roles in relationships. She doesn't like the man to be masculine. She doesn't like the woman to just be feminine. She wants both of them to interchange and switch it up every now and then. And obviously, everyone on the panel seems to disagree.
Crazy is this spectrum that you keep talking about that don't exist. Are you talking about the alphabet community?
I am.
Yeah,
we're talking about men and women.
Well, men and women, people are showing up different these days. You guys need to get with the program. Be progressive. Get with the program. Life is changing.
It's only two genders, men, women, that's it.
For you, because you're not opening up your mind to see things different.
Open up my mind to see what?
To see things different than what you're used to. Yeah.
How many genders do you think there are, Andre?
I think that there is a variety of different ways people decide to show up in the world, and no one's approval is needed for them to feel that way. So, I mean, this is a panel of people with different life experiences.
That wasn't the question.
I'm sorry.
Like,
I just.
Is there a number that you have in your head, or there's no? Do you have a number?
Not that I can think of at this time. For whatever the individual decides they want to be, I mean, that's their gender. Yeah. I'm sorry I didn't come on here and be like, oh yeah.
I think you're on the wrong panel. I think you're on the wrong panel, Andrea.
No, I'm not.
No, I actually like her on the panel. You know why? Because we need people to disagree and agree. That way we can see the different mindsets. You know, because some guys never run into women like her who have a different mindset. But if you watch her on a panel like this, you can get to see her mindset, and you can decide whether, if you ever meet her, you either want to engage or not. But obviously she's good to look at, so I can guarantee you, even if majority of men don't like what she's saying, but the fact that she looks good, they will entertain her. If we're gonna keep it 100.
I'm in the right panel because I'm a different perspective. I bring a different perspective.
Facts.
I'm not. It's not an echo chamber.
I agree with you.
So it's interesting. Yeah, we want to be able to have different perspectives to keep the show interesting. And I mean, people exist in a world that we might not necessarily agree with, and to interact with people respectfully, we can at least hear what they have to say. And if you find a flaw in the logic, you can point it out and show them, hey, this is where I see you going wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, so we can keep everybody on the panel as long.
Well, Marcus, don't you see a flaw in that logic? Why don't you tell us a flaw in the logic?
I do see a flaw in the logic.
Tell us what you think.
I think that there are only two genders. There's only men and women, and that when you pervert those things and put women in men's roles and men in women's roles, that when that occurs, the balance and the power dynamic within relationships are skewed, and those relationships tend to end in divorce, or he might turn 50 and decide that he's going to become a woman and end that whole family. And now it's two separated adults as opposed to the people that were within that family operating. I think that it does take a village to raise a child, but you need to see clear examples of those two genders within the. So it could be multiple granddads with a father, granddad, great granddad within the vicinity of the child to provide them a perfect example of what masculinity looks like. And I think femininity is extremely powerful. And women, mother, sister, cousin also need to be there to provide that child a framework on what it looks like to have a mother in the household, because there are things you need from each parent. And although you can, be nurturing as a man, I think when you cross into the line, it confuses the children. Did that answer your question, Queenie?
Mm-hmm. I think the discussion needs to end on this topic because it was in the DSM and it's still there under the term gender dysphoria. So it's already been diagnosed and assigned a nomenclature as a mental illness. So I don't understand why this discussion persists.
It's definitely
quite outrageous, actually. So I'm going to mute.
I actually, even if they all disagree with her, there's one thing I know for sure. Even if she's saying the man can be like the woman, with regards to relationship and gender roles can switch in a relationship, there's one thing I know for sure. If you go on a date with this girl and you dare tell her to go 50-50 or ask her to pay for the date, she's never going to do it. And best believe you're never going to see her again. I can guarantee you. So she can talk about all this stuff, how she wants to be like a man and switch roles in the relationship. But I'm guaranteeing you guys, if you take her on a date, best believe she wants you to pay. I can guarantee you that. And best believe if someone breaks into the house, she wants you to go check downstairs what's going on. She doesn't expect you to be like, hey, babe, tonight is your night. Yesterday I was the protector. Tonight is your night to protect. No, she's going to expect you as a man to go downstairs to see what's going on. Let me see if there's anything more in the conversation.
Out on that.
I would love for you guys to show me some peer-reviewed research that says that.
All you have to do is look up the DSM TR5.
To provide that since you said it.
It's called the DSM TR5. That's all you have to do is look it up.
Send me the link and I'll take a look at it. And I can show you a peer-reviewed article that says the complete opposite.
And I've read them, and they have no evidence to determine that those things exist or that there's some type of science to prove it. So again, we're dealing with.
One thing I'll give her though, she looks good. But anyway, shout out to Lapif. 2 minutes left, so I'll just go move on to the next video. I'll link down below if you guys want to finish it. All right, next we got our favorite from TikTok as usual. This lady left her man after 15 years because he refused to propose. As usual, the man is at fault for not proposing and making her a wife. But the question they never ask is, was I wife material? Did I give him reason to marry me? Or is it because men are tired of getting married because of the consequences of divorce? Let's get into it.
After dating my man for 15 years, I decided actually early this morning at 8:07 a.m. that I am going to leave to another state without telling him shit. So as I stated, I have been dating my man since high school. Okay, we have been together for 15 years. Every single year after our 6th year together, he promised that we were going to get engaged. He said that he just wanted to make sure I got a really nice ring, even though I could care less what I get as long as I get the commitment from him. But of course that has not happened. And yes, I know I should have walked away a long time ago. I get it, okay? But when you love someone, you are just going to wait and see if maybe eventually they actually go through with what they say they're going to do. So last night was my final straw because we had dinner with his parents and they asked him, when are you guys going to get engaged? When are you actually going to get married? Are you planning on ever proposing to her, or what the fuck is going on? This man tells his parents in front of me that apparently he is still waiting because he wants to make sure that he can get a nice ring. What surprised me after that answer is that his dad told him, I gave you $50,000 a week ago so that you could propose, you could get her a ring because your mom and I want to support you guys. So why haven't you used that money towards it?
Maybe you are not wife material. Have you ever thought about that? You could be girlfriend material, but maybe you're not wife material. Because those two things are different. Or maybe men are looking at how divorce, cripples and breaks and destroys other men who are getting divorced in family court. And they're like, you know what? I don't think this is a good idea. So men are staying away from marriage. They could do a long-term relationship, but they're saying no to marriage.
My boyfriend told his dad that he is using that money for something far more important than a ring. So my boyfriend's dad told him, then give me the money back because I gave you the money so you can actually go get a ring so you can propose to her and eventually get married. And if you're not going to use it towards that, then give me the money back. The night did not end very well, okay? I ended up staying at my parents' house. And so what this man thinks is that I'm at work today. He thinks that I'm stupid enough to go to his house and beg him or go cry, or I don't fucking know what he thinks I'm gonna do. But what I'm actually doing is packing my shit because I am not going to stay here. I am not going to beg this man to get married to me. So yes, I'm packing my shit and I'm moving to another state.
And maybe that's the reason he's not marrying you. I get it. You claim you've been asking him to marry you for all these years, but maybe you're not showing him a good enough reason to elevate you to that point. I mean, if you're the type that just runs away, you haven't told us what he would gain from marrying you. You've only told us that he was refusing to marry you, but you have not told us at one point why he should marry you. Like, what is he gaining from marrying you? You're not talking about that part. You're not saying, hey, listen, I want him to marry me because if he married me, I would do ABCD. I would help him in his life by doing ABCD. You're only talking about he's not marrying me and I'm mad, so I'm leaving. And maybe that's one of the reasons he's not marrying you, because you're only looking at it from your side of view, from your own point of view, what you want, not what he wants. You have only had a conversation of marry me, not, hey, if you marry me, I'll do ABCD for you. So looks like men are not getting married anymore. What do you guys think about that? All right, next up, shout out to Lapif. Again, fire conversations between women who like traditional gender roles and feminists who don't like traditional gender roles. So without further ado, let's go.
Wives
and then I fell asleep, and then the guy came and rescued me and kissed me, and I woke up from my beautiful princess dream. I get it. We've all grown up on Disney. I understand. But it is also okay to make sure the relationship works for you and you see him being your husband as well. It's okay to not want to just look at a guy and be like, oh, wow, like, I can't wait to be tethered to him and not know what he's about. He's just doing whatever they say that he should be doing in the books. No, like, are you genuinely happy? Or are you just there because people are telling you should be there as a woman and that's your duty and that's what you're supposed to do?
Well, why is it bad that someone would want to support their spouse or their partner? Like I clarified, when you're in a marriage, it's a partnership, it's a unionship. What I'm lacking, he will make up for, and what he's lacking, I will as well. It's not a factor of being a slave. It's a factor of that is the person that I choose to be with for the rest of my life. And whatever it takes for us to be happy, we should both be in agreement that we will do what it takes for us both to be happy. But happiness is found within yourself. It's not found within somebody else. So if you are leaving relationships because you are solely not happy, then you have to, and you're constantly in this back-to-back spat of like, every time I'm not happy in a relationship, I'm going to leave. Then at one point, are we going to reflect on ourselves? Is it me? Like, what can I do to make myself happy? Because my happiness is not determined on what my partner is. I created that happiness for myself, and anything we have together, it just elevates. Not every time are we going to be happy in relationships, but are you going to go through the mud with me, through the thick and thin with me, and regroup that or make that come back? Can we make that happen? That's
facts. She's speeding. And the previous video, she was not speeding as much, but she's cooking right now. And we have seen this over and over and over. And you guys have heard this saying before, that men will sacrifice their happiness for the family and women will sacrifice their families for their own happiness. And happiness is just a state. Today you may wake up happy, tomorrow you may not. Like, it's not like guaranteed that you're going to be happy. We have to create environments where we feel happy. It's just a feeling. But when it comes to relationships, like she said, there's ups and downs. But every time there's a down and you're not happy, you're going to move on. You're going to keep moving from person to person, and you're going to stay in the streets the whole time.
That should be just as important, correct?
Got it. I mean, yes, we all want to have a partner that could stand the rain. I understand that. I was speaking in the sense that the words that I'm hearing, what she's supposed to be doing And aren't you supposed to want to serve your husband? Those two words is what my response is based on. A partnership is something that I have been saying from the beginning. Two people in a working relationship that is healthy are supporting each other. Supporting is a key word, but this serving thing, no. Okay.
So Mark, I know you've been paying attention and listening intently. What's your thoughts so far on what you've been hearing thus far? Respectfully,
Marcus, man, I don't know why you trying to involve me in this foolishness, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you already know what my thoughts are, man. It's malarkey, it's tomfoolery, it's buffoonery being on display. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Gentlemen at home, please pay attention, with the exception of Amira. And I'm not familiar with other ladies, and I mean no disrespect. They could lay out when it was, what is the husband duties? They had a list.
Yep.
When it came time to speak about what their duties are, they struggled to articulate.
No, we didn't struggle. It just wasn't our turn.
May I please land? No disrespect.
He's right. It happens every single time. Women list like 1,000 things they want from a man. Do this, listen, pay, provide, protect, listen to me, hug me, carry me, wake me up. I mean, a long list, tall, like craziness, right? But once you ask them, okay, that man that you just want, that man that you want, and you want him to have all those things, does he want anything from a man, from a woman? She's gonna be like, yeah. And then you're gonna ask her, what do you think he wants from a woman? And she's gonna be like, I don't know, I would have to ask him. What? You should have an idea what most men want from women. And you should hope, at least, if men want 5 things, at least you have 3.5. Because obviously, men tend to understand that no woman is perfect. So they will have to settle at some point.
Disrespect you. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Opportunity to speak.
No disrespect to you at all.
Let's let him finish his statement, y'all.
So there was a struggle to kind of articulate exactly what it was that a wife's duties were, because women don't really have a sense of duty. They don't understand duty. Like the young lady stated, women are more concerned with their personal happiness. And when when happiness is your concern, you abdicate all thoughts of duty. There is no duty when you're trying to be happy. When you get up every day and go to work, you don't want to go to work every single day, but you have a duty to pay those bills.
Facts.
That you know are coming on the 1st and 15th. So therefore you get up when you don't even feel like it and you go in. Your happiness is not on that sliding scale, because it's delayed and deferred, because what's going to keep you happy is knowing you got a roof over your head and you know you have a vehicle to hop in that's going to start and get you from point A to point B. And when you open your refrigerator, you'll see groceries that you can consume that can give you sustenance. And that's been allowed throughout history. So at this point, you know, when we're talking about duty on the man's side and on the woman's side, men, we are, from day one, we're told by our mothers, by society, by teachers in the school, we're molded and branded. If you don't do X, Y, Z, if you don't have this by this age, if you're not here by
Facts.
30 or 40, you're of no value.
Facts, man. As men, the word lets us know, man. If you ain't got, I mean, forget even working hard and things like that, man. As men, if you don't have your pockets right, you feel it. Even your own relatives won't respect you if you don't have the money right. They don't care if you work 100 hours a week. If it doesn't show that you got the money, they don't respect you. You may be the last one they invite to those family gatherings, because they don't think you're going to add anything to the conversation or to the functions, because you got no money. So as men, the pressure is always on us. And then another thing is, as men, we are taught how to treat women. Provide, protect them, do this and that. But these days, the ladies are not taught how to treat men. They are taught what to expect from men. There's a difference.
But that has not been disseminated amongst the community of women. So it's very difficult for them to understand the duties, number one, if they've never been taught. Number two, if they don't have a belief system that reinforces those duties. And number three, if they're putting personal happiness and instant gratification at the top of their list.
Always.
I'm done.
All right, and that leads us probably directly into the next question.
Can I say something real fast?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So this is kind of like the issue that I have with these panels, right? A question was asked. Not everybody was able to go. One person said something that was, aside from everybody's thoughts. And it's like everybody said it when everybody didn't even have an opportunity to go. You understand? Amir spoke, I think this young lady beside me, there were some things that you probably would agree that she was saying you should be the support. But one person, when it gets the grain, is all the women. And that's what I see a lot in these spaces. No, we didn't all agree with that. We didn't all have an opportunity to speak. So
okay, you got an opportunity
when we're having these conversations, just call. If you have a disagreement with any young lady, call that young lady out. It's not all of us. We all think very different. Her relationship is going to be different from.
Oh, okay. Now you got the opportunity to tell us what a woman's duties are. We heard you. Now go on. Tell us. Let's wait.
My relationship's gonna be different from Aisha's. How we all think very different. We have our own way. We don't all think the same. Okay. So in that.
One second, Marcus. Before you go, I need to clear something up. Right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm gonna let her land. Go ahead.
In that particular situation, we didn't have an opportunity. She came in. She was one of the first women to speak. I didn't have an opportunity to speak on what I feel like a woman should bring to the table. I didn't. She came in, they asked her the question. I think Amira had an opportunity to speak. I know Aisha didn't have an opportunity to speak.
You got an opportunity now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Well, so I agree with Amira. I think a woman should make a house a home. I think a woman should be a man's support system. I believe in it. Help me. I think that one of the reasons why we are so behind as a people is we don't get married. We don't use each other the way we're supposed to be used. Men marry women who can help them get to their vision. That's how I think that men should lead by example. Women should follow their leadership. They should marry someone who they see the vision and they should help him get there. I think that inside their home, women are over to the children. We're nurturers. There are qualities that women have that men don't have and vice versa. There are things that men are good at. There are things that women are naturally good at. And
you see, she actually knew what to say, but she went on to complain how she doesn't agree. Because obviously they're talking about this lady in the corner. She's a good looking lady who doesn't agree. She thinks that there should be no duties or gender roles in relationships.
And I think that women should provide those things, right? I think Amira said it's respectful. You should be respectful to anybody, but of course your husband. Like that's just, it should be a given. So I think that and I don't have a problem with the word submit. I don't. I mean, that can be, that's just me personally. And then that's just how I feel. I think women should be there to help their husbands, be a support to their husbands in their household. And like I said, the man is the house, woman take care of the home, if that makes any sense.
That makes
sense.
If
I may just say this to clarify some things, right? I never once said that the lady in the bottom left, that her thoughts and sentiments applied to all the women. I never once said that that was the general consensus of all the ladies on the panel. What I said was that the ladies struggled at first to articulate what their duties were as a wife. Whereas when you were asked what the men's duties were, y'all rambled it off like this and I did that to just present the idea and the fact that in society, y'all are told about what we're supposed to be doing, but y'all are rarely ever told what y'all are supposed to be doing. And that was
and I say that prior. The ladies are taught the man should only get with a man, only marry a man who's going to provide, who's going to protect, who's going to do ABCD for you. There's never a conversation. But also remember that man requires a woman who's going to do ABCD because they are the queens, they are the princesses. So they never hear that conversation. And if they do, they don't listen to it because again, social media is going to come in. They're going to see other girls being flown out to Dubai and buying expensive bags and stuff like that. And they're going to be like, I want that kind of guy. I want that kind of treatment. So they never hear or even care what a man wants because they are the prize. Remember the whole thing, what do you bring to the table? They say, I'm the table. But anyway, man, shout out to Lapif. I'll put the full link down below to the video, to the channel, so you guys can go check it out. All right, next up, shout out to Kendra G. As usual, the same ladies come on the show to tell us how a man making less than $100,000 is not good enough. Let's get into it.
Houston market.
They said they could see them breasts, girl.
Yeah, she's showing them off.
Get ready to go to the gym, so
she knows what she's
I
doing.
go to the gym looking crazy, child.
She knows what she's doing
looking
right
like
here.
Runaway slave at the gym, child.
See this? She knows what she's doing.
Elisa, Houston, Texas. How old are you?
47.
Oh, 47. What you do for a living?
I'm a business owner and I'm also a nurse, but I'm not currently practicing as a nurse.
So you're in Houston, Texas. So is that Central Time Zone?
Yes.
So it's 9:30 there?
Yes. I'm open.
So you go to the gym late?
Yes, after work.
Oh, wow. Okay. So Lisa, do you have any kids?
2. I have 2 adult children, 23 and 27.
Okay. Both by the same man?
No.
2 men. Have you ever been married?
Yes, I have.
When did you get divorced?
2000, I think 8.
Damn.
Okay. And what's your zodiac sign?
Libra.
Libra. So we have a.
So since 2008, she hasn't found a man worth getting married to again? Damn.
Alicia, Houston, Texas, 47, Libra. Business owner, mine of 2 men by 2, mine of 2 by 2 men. One's married. That's a prepared woman. What kind of man are you looking for?
First of all, I look for a man that is God fearing. I want a man. I'm saved. I'm not perfect, but I do want a man that honors God, and so that he can lead. I want a leader. I want a protector. Someone that I can just relax and not be in masculine energy all the time.
If you're in masculine energy all the time, that's who you are. You don't need a man to put you in your feminine energy. It's either you're feminine or you're masculine. You don't need a man to put you in either. The same way a man is a leader or not. No man says, I'll be a leader when I find a feminine woman. He's either a leader or not, despite the women he meets. Ladies, we are tired of that thing of the whole, if I meet a leader man, I'll be feminine. No. We can't use that anymore. 2025.
What is this new term, soft girl era? So I just want to be not masculine for once.
Not masculine for once. Okay. So as in you don't want to, so what does soft girl era mean to you?
For me, it's just that so I can, I don't want to be in a relationship when I have to figure everything out. So, being a single woman a very long time, you have to do a lot of figuring things out. So if I'm in a relationship, I don't want to call a man and then he says, oh, well, baby, you can just call this person. Like, I want somebody to help assist me with figuring out whatever the issue or concern that I have.
So everything she just said, it's the money. When she said, I don't want to figure things out, it just literally means she doesn't want to say it, so she doesn't want to come off as a gold digger. But it literally means, I don't want to pay for shit. I want him to come and pay for my lifestyle. That's all she means. Don't worry about all the extra words she's using. It's about, I want him to come pay for my lifestyle. That's it.
Okay, fair enough. What are your deal breakers?
Someone who doesn't have a relationship with God, someone who is a liar, cheater, someone who's not a great communicator and does not desire to have a serious relationship, because I'm looking to be married again. And
you've been divorced since 2008. So you're telling me almost 20 years you haven't found a man worth marrying you? For almost 20 years? You're never going to find him. I'm sorry for being pessimistic, but let's be honest.
I do not want to date a man with multiple children. My children are grown, so I'm not looking for someone who has stair-steppers. If you have one child that may be teenage age and you understand, that a child, just because you have a child, that I'm still important, then we're good.
Okay.
You have 2 kids.
Should he look a certain way?
Yes. I mean, I don't really just have this tall, dark, and handsome, although I do like that.
Of course,
but I'm looking more so for someone who's interested in treating me like the woman I am, the queen that I am. I'm deserving of a good man.
Who gave you the title of a queen? If we're going to be honest. Should men just run around and call themselves kings just because they're men? Is that what we're doing now? We're queens just because and we're kings just because? A king has something to show for it. He has a kingdom. He's a ruler of something. So you as a queen, what are you a queen of? What? Do you have a king? Who you a queen for?
And I'm deserving of a successful man. I'm deserving of a man who loves God and who's ready to, be serious and lead us to higher grounds.
She's deserving. Don't play with it. So
no one deserves anything. You only get what you work for. If you're gonna, or what you negotiate. No one deserves anything.
Should this man make a certain amount of money?
I don't necessarily want to put a dollar on it because I feel like that's so cliche. But however, being that I'm a business owner, I have to be honest and be real with myself and know that I have to have a provider that can also, back me up if necessary, that can take on, and handle my life, even if I wasn't able, to do something, if I felt short that month at the store. So whatever that may be, I don't want to necessarily put a dollar, but yes, for the most part, I've dated only successful men, and it just kind of happens. I don't have a dollar amount on my back. But it just by nature, that's just who I'm more attracted to. That's who more attracted to me. Let me say that.
No, don't change it. You're more attracted to successful men, and you've been dating successful men for over 20 years since you were married, since you got divorced. But somehow you have not been able to keep a successful man. What does that say about you? Have you looked in the mirror and asked yourself those questions? Right? So she's expecting a successful man to come in and pay for her lifestyle.
Okay, fair enough. Just out of curiosity, could you date a man that made 70K?
Probably not at this point in my life.
Damn.
Okay, so 70K would be too low. That's what I was just trying to
Damn.
gauge.
Guys, we are doomed. Like, dating is crazy. So a man making 70K is not good enough for her because he won't be good enough. He won't be able to pay for her lifestyle. Damn. We are doomed.
Is 90K too low?
Damn. Yo, 70K? No. 90K? No. Damn. And she's even laughing. Like, they know this is crazy and they're laughing. It's like they feel entitled to a man's money. Damn. And remember, she already has 2 older kids. So it's not like she's promising to give you a whole new family. Damn. Maybe that's why she's single for all these years.
Did your husband make this category? Let me ask you this. Did your husband make that or more?
Good question.
Yes. I never paid bills. I never knew, those things I didn't have to worry about.
Okay. Why did you end your divorce? Why did you end your marriage?
At that time, I think I was just young, and I had just moved to the Houston market, and we were living in 2 different cities, and I just didn't appreciate what I had at the time, just to be honest. I've grown. This was 17 years ago now, right? And so I've grown, and I understand my role, and I understand, after asking God to show me, I understand my role in biblical, and I understand what God asked me to do. He asked me to respect my husband, and he asked my husband to love me like Christ, like he loves Christ. So that's what I'm looking for.
So I wonder why they always use God, especially when they get older. It's like, you didn't know God before, like you didn't go to church at all. Because she's saying her ex-husband was paying all the bills and she didn't know what she had before. So she divorced him because she thought she was going to find better. So almost 20 years later, she hasn't found better. Why don't you just go back to your ex-husband, apologize for not respecting him, and tell him, I didn't know you were the man for me. I'm tired of being in the streets and looking for another man. Why don't you do that? And also, I also wonder, the ladies, even men, I see it on Pop the Balloon. For those of you who want a person who believes in God and God this and God that, why don't you guys ever go to church? Why don't you find those people in church? Because if you guys have been in church, the pastors, the reverends, right? They usually hold singles events where people in the church can get together who are single. But I guess the people in church are boring. They don't have successful men in church. I always wonder.
Okay. So when you're last in your marriage, you only have one marriage, right?
Well, actually, I was married. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to cut you off. So I was married once, and I guess I counted, but I don't. But I was so young. I was like 19. I married my oldest girl's father, straight out of high school, and it didn't last long. Twice. But I think it was the thing to do.
Was that your first and only marriage? Yeah. Or you had 2 marriages? That was your first.
That was the first, and then I got remarried in 2000. I got remarried in 2008, and I got.
Hold on. For clarity, you've been married twice.
Yes.
Okay.
So she's been married twice. Both didn't work. how can the third guy think, and she's been single, well, at least not married for the last 17 years. How can then the next guy think he's going to be the one to make her stay married? Like, what guarantee do you have that if you come and pay her bills, she won't divorce you because she wants to find someone better or greener pastures? Like, what guarantee is there for a man?
Oh, and the second husband was the provider husband.
Correct.
Okay. So even when you moved to Houston, you say he lives in another city. He paid all your bills in Houston.
Correct.
Okay. So moving, you want to get married again?
Correct.
Okay. So is that still the expectation for, I know you said back you up, but is it expected for you to meet a man that can also pay your bills like that again?
He needs to have the ability to, yes.
Okay.
Damn. Guys, dating is crazy. I thought 2024 was worse, but things are getting worse in 2025. Like almost every woman who comes on Kendra G's show wants a man to come and provide and pay all her bills. It's like they just want to stop work. In fact, they don't even want to stop working, because a man would think, okay, I'm going to pay all your bills. You're going to stay home and I come home to a cooked meal. No, she's going to be like, no, you're going to pay all the bills and I'm going to go work. I'll save my money. And once we both come back from work, we will order food. And it's like, it's a retirement plan.
Let's do it. Now I can tell you already in shape. You see them breasts I told you. Let's do the Kendra cam.
Let me see. I'm going to the gym, so don't y'all judge me.
Okay. Body snatch.
Looks like a BBL.
Snatch,
but okay.
girl. Look, you 47. Like they don't make, listen, 47-year-old bodies, 25-year-old bodies these days, child. This.
I'll give her credit. She looks good. She got the body. So I could still see, despite all the red flags going off, I can guarantee you there's still going to be men in the inbox. Now, obviously, there have always been men in the inbox. That's why she's been single for 17 years. But obviously, maybe those men in the inbox, or she has met, clearly they don't want marriage.
New day. You look good. When was your last relationship?
I have not been in a relationship in 5 years now. I've dated here and there, nothing promising, nothing probably more than, oh gosh, like 90 days or something. You know, most people are just not serious anymore.
You're not serious.
You don't have to answer, but I'm gonna ask, when's the last time you was intimate with someone?
It's been a long time. It's been a while. So I'm not nearby on the books for 2025.
Okay. 3 flaws you have to work on.
Entitlement.
I've worked on it a lot over these last 5 years. I feel like patience was one of the.
If she doesn't mention entitlement, I'll just know she doesn't have any self-awareness. Let's see.
Reasons my relationship didn't last. I've learned, and after asking God to show me, you know, if a person keeps telling you the same thing, you have to look at yourself. So doing self-assessment, patience is still something that I'm working on, but I'm definitely a lot better. And just giving more grace and just to continue to improve my relationship with God.
Okay. And why would a man be lucky to be with you?
I can answer that for her. A man would be lucky to be with her because he's going to come in and pay all her bills and she's going to live the soft girl era life. There you go. That's why a man would be lucky. Let's see.
I'm an amazing partner. I'm an amazing woman, you know, outside of, you know, business success, career success. I'm a woman of God. And again, I understand now how to respect my partner. And I think that's the biggest thing, is having respect and knowing your role. And that's why I say I'm looking for a leader, because I'm only going to be submissive to a leader, a man that understands my worth. And
that's that condition of femininity, condition of submission. That's why I said, imagine a man walked up to a woman and he's like, hey, listen, I'll be a leader if you submit. If you don't submit, I won't be a leader. The woman would look at him like, nigga, you crazy? Because that doesn't make sense. It's either you're a leader the whole time, despite the circumstances, and as a woman, it's either you're submissive or you're not. You can't pick and choose when you're going to be submissive. And maybe this is the reason she's been single for 17 years. But of course, lack of self-awareness. What do I care? What do I know? She's good looking, so men are still gonna be in the inbox. And some of you guys watching me are gonna be in our DMs too. What do you guys think anyway? Shout out to Kendra. Link down below. Till next time. All right. Next up, shout out to Eight at the Table. They were talking about, how absentee fathers or single mother households affect boys. Let's get into it.
I agree and disagree at the same time. That's all I'll say. I agree that a lot of times what he's saying is true, where men that grow up without a male figure, and not just a male figure, this is why I disagree, a proper male figure in the house. Because there's male figures in the house that's still emotional. And he's actually learning from that man. And maybe it might be true if you go down the line, but maybe it might not. I think that we got to this whole space over the last 8 years about emotional intelligence, not just because there was a lack of emotional regulation, but there was no real correlation where it was coming from. Because I think what happens with men is when men get frustrated and they've been tolerating a lot, that's when they get very emotional and explosive. Now the other flip side, like when he was saying that they have zero tolerance for anything. So even if you get your shoe stepped on, now you're trying to fight. Again, like he has points that I agree with, points that I disagree with, because I don't think that it's solely just having a male figure, because I do believe in the village around you does play a part. So if his grandfather did have enough impact on him, the thing is he didn't want to listen to his grandfather and father enough, right? For whatever reason. But if you do have that male figure that you actually value, who can, give you some good core values and ethics, then, you'll be all right. You can find your way to navigate. You still might bump your head a couple of times, but it won't be as, as explosive.
I mean, definitely fathers are very much needed in homes because they give the boy a level-headedness. If the boy gets into situations at school, the father will be the first one they call. But if they're going to call the mom, especially when the boys get into teenage years, they don't care. They don't listen to the mom. But that's when the father is really important, because if the boy knows they're going to talk to the father will spank his ass. So boys normally respect the father more in those teenage years. In the younger years, yeah, they can listen to the mom. But as they get older and they get taller, and now they're trying to catch up to the dad's height, they think they're men too, in the adolescent stage. So that's why fathers are very important, because that stage, it's either the boy is going to the prison, drugs and stuff like that, or he's going to keep on a path of being a productive citizen.
That's just my opinion. So I agree and disagree at the same time.
I mean, I'm not a man. I didn't grow up without my dad, so I don't really I don't feel like I can give any value to this. I think that they're proud in a sense that they were left holding the bag and they were the ones that had to step up and do X, Y, and Z. So yeah, that is actually something to be proud of, because you can say, I raised my child. I did the absolute best I can. They graduated from school. They didn't get into trouble. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think if it's, if
they didn't get into trouble,
if they graduated school too.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, if there's something to be proud of, yes, I think that is okay for
some people are just proud that your child is still alive.
And it's actually packaged in a way that says it's a single mother's fault when apparently they're lacking. So what makes sense, the logical thing, is that it's the absentee's father's fault, right? If we look at this using the exact same logic that you just put out, the information that is being spread is that it's the single mothers who raise these delinquent kids, these kids that are going to jail and who don't do well in life, X, Y, and Z. Okay, that's a symptom. You can't look at a symptom. You have to look at the ailment and what the diagnosis is of that ailment. And that ailment and the diagnosis is that there's an absentee father.
Yeah, but sometimes, if not even most times, the woman breaks up the relationship with the dad, and then the woman doesn't let the dad see the kids, and then the woman is always using the kids as bait to against the dad, whether it's child support, whether family court, So some guys pay child support, but they still don't get to see their own kids. They're only given 2 days out of the week to see their own kids, but they're still required to keep paying child support. Right? So some ladies, if we're going to be honest, use the kids against the dads. So obviously the dad is going to grow resentful, but also the kids are going to grow resentful and hate the dad because they think the dad doesn't want to see them. But all along, the mom is saying bad things, bad mouthing the dad. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't want to see you. Not until later when the kids grow up and be like, oh, so all along you didn't let us see dad because you were mad because he got a new woman. He got a new wife. But by that time, the damage has been done and those kids need therapy.
But then on the flip, and you challenge it with the same numbers and the same stats with a single father, and the correlation is completely different, or the outcome is completely different when you compare them. So if I have a single father and it's like, okay, you know, a single mother is 70% of the men in jail or whatever that stat is that he said.
He said 80. I don't know what the number
80.
is.
He did say 80.
I don't know the number.
Let's just say based on his stat, quote, 80% of them come from a single household with a mother. But then on the flip side, with the single household of a father, it's extremely less. So we can see what the actual problem is. But I mean, I can always agree because I don't think that boys need to be around or heavily influenced by women as kids. But what I'm saying is the comparison that we're saying is that a boy, essentially, we're not arguing that a father needs to be present. Well, a suitable father needs to be present. That's not the argument here. The argument here is that some women are choosing to not have a father present or have a father figure present for that boy specific.
Facts, because they refuse the father to spend time with his boy. They use him against the father. They know fathers care so much about their kids, especially sons. So what they do, they refuse to let the boy spend time with his father. Because they know that's going to hurt the father. But in actual sense, it actually hurts the kid more over time. Because he's going to go resentful towards the dad. You don't want to spend time with me. Because that's what the mom is going to be telling the boy. He doesn't want to see you. He doesn't want to spend time with you. He doesn't give us money to take care of you. Things like that. So the kid is going to grow resentful. Even when the dad shows up, the kid is going to have negative energy towards the dad. All along, the mom is doing that because the guy moved on with a new woman. Even when she's the one who broke up the relationship.
Specifically speaking. And then having pride of actually raising this boy without that person not knowing or believing that he's not going to be affected by not having that father around. And the actual stats are showing that a woman in most case basis cannot raise a good civilian boy. So that's the real thing. I mean, I could pull up so many different things. And then we talk about, all right, well, the chicken or the egg, who came first? Did black men abandon the black women and leave them for food? Or did black women bite the bait and take the money to kick the black man out of the household?
Yep.
Okay, so we can go back and forth because in different periods of times, they both happened, right? But that's not the point here. The point here is that the actual...
But I think it is the point because he's talking about information.
I also have friends right now. I could call them. They could come here and tell you the truth on how. Matter of fact, I got so excited when I was doing auditions for a show, and I had 3 men come on this, and I didn't know them or I didn't know their history. I had 3 men come on the show and explain how they won custody of their child and how they had to fight for custody of that child. First of all, so when we're talking about men leaving out of a child's life, I do think that is a thing. But we completely disregard how hard it is for some of these men to even be a father.
Yeah, man. The whole thing of men having to see their kids and they're still required to pay child support, that shit rubs me the wrong way. Because a man can only fight too much, so long. Because it's like the money he's using to pay lawyers, to fight to see his own kids, they could have used that money to support the kids. They could, because sometimes it's tens, thousands of dollars. That money could be used to be saved in a bank account to be used for the kids' future education. college education. But the man is spending money on lawyers to see his own kids. That shit pisses me off, man. No man deserves, no man should have to fight to see his own kids. So men give up. Men get tired of that. You know?
Because of the mother. Because of the mother. So you're telling me that when historically, the men that go to war, they take the women once they win the war. Well, what do you think happened with the government? They won the war, they took the women, right, in numerous different ways, and then they left the black man outside, and then the black man is now being ridiculed for all the systematic oppression and the dumbass psychological ways of thinking, of treating their family, and we are byproducts of what a woman has chose to against us. And it's been, again, because at some point in time, I don't believe that you can say, all right, this happened to me 50 years ago, or happened to somebody in my family, my ancestors 50 years ago, and use that as an excuse. So at some point in time, yes, men now got to say, you know what? I know better. I know what they did, but I can't do it. I can't be what they were. So I do, like I said, again, it's been wrong here and wrong here, wrong here and wrong here, wrong here and wrong here.
I agree. There are some men who don't do nothing at all. And those men need to be called out. They need to be held accountable for sure. You know, especially if the woman is not using the courts of law against him. Those guys need to step up, because those are the guys who paint a bad picture for the guys who actually put the effort to see their own kids and raise their kids the right way. But it's like the guys who want to do it the right way get punished. They get taken through the ringers, the courts, and things like that, just to see their own kids. What do you guys think about that? I'll link down below the full video to 8 at the table. Good conversation, man. All right, next up, our favorite as usual, Kendra G, man. This guy came on, he says doesn't want no big women, but he's also not going to be a provider. He wants to go 50-50. So without further ado, let's go.
People that won't call into your show, because most of the people that call in your show is always like, the girl always like, I want somebody to make $100,000 a year, and that, you know, I don't make $100,000 a year, but I'm rare. Like, we'll talk about it.
Well, let's get into it. Okay, so Ronald, so you're 40, you're considering every year, correct?
Yeah. Well, it's not you divided by 4, you know, but no, legally like 41. Just turned 41.
Okay, 41. Got you. And that's an Aquarius, right? Or a Pisces?
No, Pisces.
Pisces. Okay. What do you do for a living, Ronald?
Business owner. And right now, my actual job, I'm a maintenance technician.
Okay. Ronald, Detroit, 40, Pisces, business owner, maintenance technician. Do you have any kids?
No, actually, I don't.
Have you ever been married? No, right?
Nope.
All right. And let's do it. Where are you? Detroit. So we got Ronald, Detroit, 40, Pisces, business owner, maintenance technician. No kids, never married. He's a leap year baby.
Leap year.
What kind of woman are you looking for?
Across the board. I got a little preference, but I really across the board. Somebody that's like down to earth. And like I see a lot of stuff like when people talk about like if you're gonna be in a relationship, they get mad when you say stuff about the 50-50. But nobody really broke down the 50-50. I mean, if you're gonna be in a relationship, it gotta be 50-50, 70-30, meaning this. If I wake up tomorrow, my car don't start, can I take your car to work? Or if I got to work 12 hours a day because the machine down, can you pick the kids up from school? You know what I'm saying?
Well, when it comes to 50-50, most women talk about you actually paying the bills. You know, you can use their car. You can use their car if your car breaks down. But once the rent comes, they still expect you to pay the rent.
If I say 50-50, mean if something happens, can you back me up? If I can't pay the mortgage, let's say if I didn't own a house. If I can't pay the mortgage this month, can you pay the mortgage? Or you?
Nope, bro. They're not gonna accept that. They're gonna call you broke. They're gonna say you're broke and dusty. If we're gonna be honest,
you know, stuff like that. You got to be like teamwork. You know,
partner.
Yes.
So, do you want kids?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I do. I'm heterosexual. Yes, actually, I do.
Do you want your wife to work while she's pregnant?
No, I don't expect my wife to work unless she's working from home. But no, I don't expect her to work while she's pregnant.
So, because I think a lot of women talk about 50-50 in bills. So what do you feel about 50-50 in bills?
That's what I was saying too.
I mean, it's not mandatory, but it helps.
So I'm just saying, like, so how would that work if you don't want your wife to work when she's pregnant? She wouldn't.
No, look, see, okay, she's not working when she's not pregnant, but if she's pregnant, I know as a man, at least 6 months out of the pregnancy, I'm going to be responsible for 100% of the bills.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And that's all men usually say. Most men, it's not like they don't want to provide. In fact, if it's just that, number one, most guys don't have the capability to provide 100% of the bills because women want this luxurious lifestyle. If they wanted just an average lifestyle, okay, but most women want to take 4 vacations a year. They want to drive an expensive car. They want you to buy a big house. So all that costs. So most men are not going to afford that expensive lifestyle. Number two, most women, even when a man is paying all the bills, they don't want to stay home. They want to go work. And they want to work and save the money for themselves. It's not like they want to work and be like, okay, my man is paying mortgage, he's paying the rent, he's paying the insurance, I'll pay our phone bill. No, they want to work and save their money, and still the man should pay for everything. So those are the reasons most guys are like, okay, it's not a fair deal. But if a man says it, they call you broke and dusty.
I understand that.
Okay, got you. So you want a woman that's willing to work with you, basically.
Yeah. She got to be your friend. Y'all can't get along, it ain't gonna work out.
Okay.
Every man
what are
wants
your
that.
deal breakers?
Not to be let's see. Deal breaker number one. Like, I understand at my age, I'm not going to get a girl with no kids, but I don't want a girl with a lot of kids.
So maybe 1 or 2.
You can get a girl with no kids, but okay, there's women with no kids.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot younger than me. Like, it's crazy. Like, say I'm 40 and they look at me weird because I'm dating somebody that's like 25, 24. I'll say it because it's not a sex only thing. This is somebody you trying to have kids with, you know?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so do you want a younger woman? Because I have women on my show that's 35, 36. They don't have 37. They don't have kids.
I mean, that's not a deal breaker. That age is fine.
Okay. What else you desire? Your deal breakers?
Bad attitude.
Yeah, that one is a deal breaker for every man.
Yeah, I can't deal with girls that got a like EI attitude for no reason.
Badass boss bitch, don't need no that kind of sassiness. Yeah,
I can't deal with that. Like, that is that's my pet peeve. Woo, that's attitude medieval for no reason. I'm like, people
Facts.
Get like, I'm not gonna talk about it like my ex, like from years ago. This was like my friend. Like, even at bad times, I'd rather argue with her than have good times with somebody else. Because this is somebody else with good or bad. Good days, bad days. Oof.
Why'd y'all break up?
Long story. A lot.
Okay, we'll keep it going. So any more deal breakers before we go to the next question?
Deal breakers, that and lazy women.
Lazy women. Okay.
Oh yeah, he's
should
gonna
she
mess
look
it
a
up.
certain way?
Fit.
Okay.
Now my thing is, like, I mean, I tend to go towards more petite girls, but she don't gotta be slim, whatever. But I can't do the big girls. I'm not hating on big girls, but that's not my cup of tea. And I'm a skinny dude.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna get attacked. He wants 50-50 and he doesn't want big girls and he doesn't want women with so many kids. Yeah, he's definitely getting attacked because we have seen it so many times when a man has preferences and the women who don't meet those preferences, they're gonna attack you. Like, it's I can guarantee you, I can bet they're gonna attack him. Oh man, he shouldn't have said those things. He should have he should have just been quiet. Damn.
That's not my cup of tea at all. I put big girls and gay dudes in the same category. I'm not fucking with none of y'all.
Damn. Ooh, he just compared big girls to gay dudes. They are going to attack him bad. Damn, this guy got balls, man.
Are you trying to make a joke or are you being serious?
No, I'm serious.
Okay.
I'm not. Serious. No, because I'm skinny. They always like think because I'm a skinny dude, I got a big girl. I'm like, no.
Well, what do gay men got to do with this?
I know that comparison was
I ain't
crazy.
fucking with big girls and gay dudes.
Okay.
He also knows it. That was crazy that women are going to come for him. Damn.
Should she make a certain amount of money?
No, I don't. Look, my girl can make 20, 30 grand a year. I don't care.
Okay. Let's do the Kendra cam.
I got my night clothes on. Oh yeah, here we go. I got the night clothes on. Damn.
Seems like a simple, funny
I got
dude.
braids too. I got my night clothes on. I was about to go to sleep.
Okay.
I look a hot mess, but I know it.
All right.
Seems like a simple dude, but the fact that his preferences, so many women don't qualify, big girls, single moms, and 50-50, they have to attack him. Like, they can't miss, because like we said, a man can't have preferences.
When was your last relationship, Ronald?
Oh, my last relationship was about 2 years ago.
2 years ago. You don't have to answer, but I'm gonna ask. When's the last time you was intimate with someone?
About 3 weeks ago, maybe.
Is that woman an option? Are you streaming?
Huh?
Are you
No.
streaming?
Not streaming.
Okay. So they're telling me that you're streaming.
Well, on what? Hold on. No, because I go to my Facebook now. I can share my screen with you. No, I'm not streaming.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word. Let's continue. The woman you slept with 3 weeks ago, is she an option?
Possibly, but no, we just can't agree on stuff.
Okay. You said something earlier, so let me deep dive in this. Are you one of those reaction people to my show?
I have did some reaction, not no bad reaction, but I have did some reactions, yes.
I don't like you guys, so I'm gonna start there.
Kendra doesn't like guys like us who react to our content. She says we're stealing content, but reacting to content is part of content. Because I don't play the whole video. I give my own thoughts on the whole thing. And then I give her credit. I put the link down below and people go and finish the video.
I think it's whack. Do you talk about the men or just the women?
Me, I'm actually across the board. I actually, you go to my YouTube page. I actually go across the board on everything.
Yeah, me too. Right now, I'm doing a reaction to a guy.
You done the men on my show or you just done women on my show?
Well, I haven't. No, I haven't. I think I did like 2 reactions to like 2 of your videos. I think I only did like 2 reactions.
Were they women videos? Only?
Women.
Yeah, this is why I don't like it, because I feel like a lot of men just focus on the delusional women that you guys say that call into my show, but y'all never break down y'all counterparts. Y'all never break down your gender.
I mean, glad I'm reacting to a guy, so I guess I'm not part of the people she's talking about. But also, we have to be fair. It's mostly women who call in, and on top of that, it's mostly from the 100% of women who call in, 80% of them come in delusional standards.
And that's why I don't like it. And I just don't understand, because like someone could do a reaction video to you, and how would you feel? Like someone literally could break you down. I can see someone breaking you down and saying all the things why a woman shouldn't date you for whatever reason. And would you like somebody's unsolicited opinion while you're just trying to find love?
I'm going to be honest. Most women are not going to date him. Why? Because they're going to call him delusional for his standards. He wants it. First of all, he said he wants a 50-50. And then he compared big women to gay men. Right? And then he said he doesn't want single moms. Yeah. Clearly, most women are going to attack him, and I said that before.
Well, I'm a comedian, so I get it. I'm not like the average person, but I understand what you're saying.
No, and I also think that you also prove another point. Y'all judge the women that y'all can't afford to date, because you said that you don't make 100K, and that's fair. But listen, and a lot of times I'm a cosign. There are women that request 100K that may never get it. That is a high probability. I think we all know this. But I feel like it's men like y'all who don't have 100K that stay on YouTube all day just because y'all don't have it. Y'all really try to break these women down. And if I felt like y'all spent more time and investing in yourselves and becoming better humans, then you wouldn't have time to break down a woman for her request, because y'all don't do it with the guys.
But Kendra G, I don't know about other channels, but personally, I don't break women down. I literally analyze what they're saying. Okay, she wants a man who makes 100K, but if he makes 90K, it's not good enough. And if I say she's delusional, that's not breaking her down. It's just simply her standards go beyond most men. Most men don't make 100K. So that means that the pool of the men that she's looking at is very small. That's number one. That's not breaking down. That's really analyzing the statistics and what she's saying. Number two, some women come on, they have 3 kids by 3 different men, and they expect the new guy to come and pay for the kids. And it's like, the next guy, it's going to be tough because he has to deal with baby daddy drama from 3 other guys. And I simply say, it's going to be tough. Very few men are going to be very few men will put themselves in such a situation. That's not breaking the woman down. That's being realistic, especially coming from a man. We know how men and against men can be. The baby daddy is going to be like, don't touch my woman, don't talk to my kids. But the woman expects the new guy to be stepfather, talk to the kids, take them to school, but the baby daddies don't want that. So there's going to be a clash. That's not breaking someone down.
All right, I respond to that 2 ways. I don't make 100K and 2 reasons. One, I don't make 100K because I pay so much in taxes. Taxes kill me. So I bring around probably like 72. I don't have, 100K in cash, but I got 100K in credit. And that's crazy you said that because this just came through the mail and I was like, oh, what is she going? Because I told you I do a couple other things, like the comedy thing. So my LLC, and then like American Express, they just sent me a credit card. That's like $250. So I mean,
so just tell me, why is it joy? Why is it joy? Why do you guys find joy in trying to break down my guests?
It's not breaking them down.
I don't take nothing personal. I understand they do it for entertainment, but it's like that shit crazy. I mean, you want a guy that make 100,000 a year? Okay, cool. That's your preference. Okay, but the guy that, like me, I could be real picky if I wanted to. So I'm actually a good guy. I mean, I might come off kind of weird and lame. Okay, cool. The nerd, whatever. Okay, I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want a guy that make 100,000 a year, like, come on. You talking about you got 3 kids? Hey, the guy that ain't what he want. That ain't like.
Exactly. And usually their baby daddies didn't make $100,000. So it's like you're saying the guys you had babies with didn't make 100,000, but you want the stepfather to make 100,000? That's not breaking someone down. That's literally looking at the whole picture and saying, okay, this doesn't make sense.
Like even me, it's like at some point they're like, why don't you just go be a good stepdad? That's like trying to play somebody else's save game. I don't want that. I mean,
facts.
I could be a stepdad. I mean, I have nothing against being a stepdad, but
it's not fair.
Yeah, I pass.
So how do you feel when you see the men come on my show who may have just got out of jail? Oh. He has 3 baby mamas, and now he wants something that's out of his reach. How come you guys don't break down those videos?
Oh.
I talk about the other men. There was a guy who was 50 years old, and I think he had like 15 kids. And if you guys watch that video, I broke that guy down. If she's talking about, what word did she use? Breaking them down, whatever. Yeah, I broke that guy. That guy was crazy. He had 15 kids from, I think, 11 women, and he was expecting a new woman, and he was still open to having kids. I was like, nigga, you crazy. Like, no woman, even if 11 women put themselves in that situation, I was like, any woman who puts herself in this situation, that's on you. Because this guy is no good. 50 years old, 15 kids, 11 women. Yeah, that's crazy. Any woman who goes into that situation will be mad. And I reacted to that guy, and I was like, he's crazy.
Oh, hey, we can do it on. Hey, I go both ways on that one. Like, hey, them dudes is a serial impregnator.
But this is the thing. Y'all don't go both ways. Y'all only take the women videos. Y'all do not focus on the guy videos.
That's not true. At least for me.
Okay, let me tell you on this. Now, the crazy part about that is them guys is the guys women mostly want. That is so crazy.
Facts. Those are the guys women have kids with, But then after that, then they ask for the guy who makes $100,000. So that's why it goes viral. And it's like, because even Kendra is always asks the women, did your baby daddy make that kind of money? The woman says no. Then she's like, okay, so why do you want the new guy to make this kind of money? She's like, okay, my standards have gone high. I know better now. So we're all like, what?
That is not who most women want.
Yeah, why they keep dealing with them then?
Facts.
At my job.
Yeah, because why would a guy who's in jail have 3 baby mamas? Clearly, there are women who see something in him.
I'm like the lowest on total poll, and I still do well off than most people. I'm doing pretty damn good. Not to be bragging, I do pretty damn good, you know. And it's like the guys they mess with, like maybe they feel intimidated. I don't know what it is. Why they go after them guys?
Facts.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of
See,
different factors,
Kendra has
right?
no answer.
But either way, we'll stick to your interview. I just wanted to, because I mean, really, the reaction people drive me so insane that typically I don't even want y'all to come on the show because I don't know if the intentions are pure. I don't know if you're really looking for love, if you're just trying to build your brand. So now you can have a Kendra G video on your page. Like, I mean, when I started this show, I genuinely started for people to find somebody, and it's just grew beyond measure in negative ways. And I will say this, yes, I actually agree that there are a lot of times women request stuff that they're probably not going to get in a man, but there's a way to break it down to them. And also reality is going to be the biggest teacher. There's no need for y'all to take their content and use it to try to make money to further bash them. And y'all,
I mean, shout out to Kendra. I understand where she's coming from. Are there guys who like bash the women and say ABCD? Sure. But also we have to look at it that anytime someone criticizes us, sometimes we look at it as bashing, because it's human nature that humans don't like to be criticized. We like to be looked at as perfect. We don't like to be told what to do. So even when it's just, you know, positive criticism, genuine criticism that means no harm, people are going to look at it as bashing, if we're going to be honest. So I understand where she's coming from, but she kind of described me because obviously I'm reacting to her content. But good thing for me, I go for the men, I go for the women. You know, I've praised so many women from her show who come and speak differently. I've criticized some ladies, but I never bash, I never speak badly. In fact, even when a woman looks good, she looks good. Like, you know, it is what it is. I'm like, okay, her standards are delusional, but she looks good regardless. And I know men are still going to be in her DMs. But anyway, shout out to Kendra. And like I always do, I put the link down below in the description so you guys go finish the videos. That's why I never finish the videos, because I want you guys to go finish the whole content at her channel and subscribe and enjoy the show. So shout out to Kendra. If you ever watch these, you know, thanks for the work that you do and bringing on people. But at least you also know some ladies are delusional, but they don't like criticism. They call it bashing. What do you guys think about that? All right, next. Shout out to Lapif. Let's get into it. Leaving for valid reasons. Relationships, breaking up relationships for valid reasons. Let's go.
Let's say, for the sake of argument, a woman abandons her husband with the kids. We can make a law that says, hey, look, you do that bullshit, you're going to jail. You do that.
But does it always have to be so abstract?
Yes,
like,
because
it doesn't.
Yes, it does, because think about it. Think about it.
When you make it worst case scenario, there's situations where a relationship just don't work. Nobody's cheating or
exactly, and they're breaking. Right. The problem with that is, hold on, wait, Daniel. The problem with that is,
that is a reason to break up. You don't.
Give precise detail on why you're saying it. There's a case where it didn't work. Give me the scenario.
Okay, I can't give you a scenario, but I want to lead with this. I think when we have this, to his point, I can't see everybody's names because I'm on my phone, but the one with the sunglasses, that
act like you're in front of a judge right now.
If you think to yourself to have an objective perspective, like he said, it's not always you getting hit upside your head or beat between the stove and the refrigerator.
So
sometimes I don't want to be in a relationship with this person. I've outgrown this person. Like that has happened before. Where
you're going to jail. You going to
That
jail.
makes
Yeah, she's all
absolutely
over the
no
place.
sense.
You going to
Danielle,
jail.
but listen,
I'm sending your
Danielle,
ass,
but
Danielle. I am sending
Hold
you to
on,
jail.
Danielle, what
let
if
me
they
For
had,
life.
what if you,
and then
well,
I'll
listen,
yield for
Danielle,
sure.
what if your
Hold
person
on, yeah.
had access to professional help that will be help them develop
It's
to be like
not
you? That's why
okay.
I said,
Yeah, that's what
why
I'm
I
trying
said,
to
think about
say.
it. Like what
He
happened
can't even give you the scenario.
I'm giving you a scenario. If I'm in a relationship with a man, let's just say I get in a relationship with a man and I'm 21 and we in a relationship, things are working great. Nobody's cheating on nobody. Nobody got an outside baby, nothing. But you don't find yourself attracted or wanting to be in a
We
relationship.
locking your ass up.
Yeah. Because what made you attracted to me before? I did nothing wrong, and now you're not attracted to me. I mean, I agree. If such a scenario happens, which it happens so many times, I fell out of love with you. Now I want to move on, because most likely you're going to do that to the next person also. You're going to like them in the beginning. They're still going to be good to you, and then you're going to fall out of love. Like, because of that, that's why there's so many divorces, because there are no consequences for such people, and they keep doing the same thing.
Hold on, wait. I'm not letting you divorce that man.
Locking your ass
I'm
up.
locking your ass up if you walk away.
Hold on, y'all, because you said relationship. What about within a marriage?
But as
Say
adults,
you guys are married, then would you still take that same approach?
That's what they're talking about in marriage. They're just talking about
Well, she just said relationship, so I just
well,
want to
I'm
make sure.
saying relationship because they
we changing the
No,
word.
we talking about marriage.
Talking about
No,
marriage.
we were talking about not being in a marriage and being forced to be married.
No,
we weren't
we
talking
said
about
if you make, hold on, wait, you got to follow the line of logic. We said if you make a baby, now if you go out there and you talk to somebody, you have a relationship with them, and y'all just don't work out, I don't give a fuck if y'all break up. But if y'all make a baby, we gonna tell y'all, you two motherfuckers are married. We gonna make y'all get married. Now, if you come in with that scenario that says, hey, I made the baby with this guy, and 5 years later, the baby's 6 years old, and you say, man, me and him really ain't really getting along like that. And I mean, you know, I'm just not really feeling him no more because, you
He
know,
gained weight.
He gained a little weight. I'm not feeling him. And you say, I want to leave. I'm going to tell your ass, I'm daddy government, right? I'm going to tell your ass,
Locking your
Danielle.
ass up.
But
No.
that's not what
Hold
I'm
on.
literally.
I'm going to tell you, Danielle, no, you cannot leave that man. And if you abandon him, I'm throwing your ass in jail.
How
Let
long?
me
How
ask you a
long?
question.
How long you gotta go to jail?
You're going to jail till that kid turn 18.
No.
I agree, because that way, if there are consequences for people who break up families because they are not happy, they can go to jail. That will reduce so many people, both men and women, but mostly women, because they like to leave men because they're not happy. They break up families, create single mother households because they're not happy. If there is a law that requires them to go to jail if they break up a family, you'll see divorces and breakups going down so quick. But because we have laws in place where people are allowed to file for divorce for whatever reason, and then get child support and alimony, that's why divorces are so high, because there are no consequences, no bad consequences at least.
No, listen, you're gonna go to jail, and then when you get out, you're gonna go back to your husband.
Exactly.
Send you right back to that
You got the same problem. You taking your ass to jail again.
Why wouldn't it be much similar to not jail anybody and let them not be married?
Y'all missing the
because that's how we got here.
If that man ain't cheating on you, if he paying his bills, if he taking care of the household, he taking care of the kids, you ain't got no right to be trying to file no damn divorce.
That is
Y'all
so
missing the important
one-dimensional.
part.
Y'all have no. That's
Now I see why you might be divorced.
Hey, gentlemen.
Yeah, they just divorced because they're not happy. They ask him, was he treating you well? Yeah. Was he paying the bills? Yes. Was he spending time with the kids? Yes. Why did you divorce him? I'm not happy. I don't love him anymore. So you're breaking up a family because of a feeling? Yeah, that's crazy.
Y'all missing the important.
I'll tell you why I'm divorced off camera, but I'm just saying because he said to take. I'm just going off of what he said as far as perspective and having objective perspective. I'm going to that point. Me personally, I have a whole different worldview on marriage and the sanctity of marriage and how you should align your steps and order your steps.
Is it biblical?
Y'all missed the important parts, Darwin, Sweeney. Listen to what she said. She said, if I outgrow you.
Yeah.
I don't care. Yeah,
We heard that.
I know,
we heard that.
I don't care. That's the point. I don't care if you outgrow him, outsmart him, slip through the cracks, fall on your ass. I don't care what you. If it ain't those three things we just listed, and you come at me in the court of law talking about some bullshit like I outgrew him because I made a little more money than him, or
I didn't say money. I didn't say money.
That's why we told you to give the scenario. You failed. So now you leave.
I agree with the boys, man. If they put laws like that, hey, if you leave your man just because you're not happy and he was still a good man to you, you go to jail for 60 days. Yeah, trust me, the divorces will go down so badly. It's 50% divorces right now. It will go to around 5% in 1 month.
That's up to speculation.
Okay, so do y'all think growth is financial?
Hold on. This is the train of thought of, I know y'all talking about this interesting new scenario, but this is the train of thought of women across the board. They're like, when I outgrow a man, they're looking at him like they're ready to discard him. But they're not realizing that most men they get with is already superior to her. That's why she wants him.
What that got to do with the person in China? What that got to do with what we was just talking about?
I don't know what Kevin Samuels be doing.
No, y'all got to understand what Will is trying to make the case that majority of women have this mindset coming into it, and that's the reason why men don't even want to get married in the first place. But he's not saying that this solution will actually expose whether that can be confirmed, because then you'll see a high rate of married women in and out of the fucking prison system.
Yep. Facts. But also, if she left one man because she outgrew him, that means if you're the next guy in line, that's why you need to really find out why. I mean, she's probably would never tell you as the new husband, hey, I divorced my ex-husband because I outgrew him, because then the next guy would be like, oh, that means the chances you're gonna outgrow me, you're gonna stop loving me. But if most men knew the real reason a woman left the ex-husband, they wouldn't dare to marry that woman, because that means they're next in line to be divorced.
We're sending y'all ass to jail.
And the fact that you don't want to turn the table, you got an opportunity as men. If in fact that what you're saying is true, that women are fucking changing up during marriage, you will see it in the numbers. And instead of you going to fucking jail and getting alimony, getting all this other shit, you'll see all of the women going to fucking jail and you get what you want. So if any man look at this after all of the fucking conversations we had and all the red pills we swallowed and shot out our ass in the toilet, if y'all deny this, y'all goddamn stupid.
Y'all don't. That's because they don't want to get married either. They don't want the shit either. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Here's the reality. Here's the reality for most of y'all. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Here's the reality for most of y'all. All of y'all, sex is the forethought. Getting your jollies off is the forethought. Marriage, relationships, how the children gonna come out, all that shit is an afterthought. So y'all all put the cart before the horse, and then sit here and say, how the fuck did we wind up here? And then y'all trying to ask us for the policies and prescriptions on how to deal with y'all fucked up situation. Here's the thing.
And she's laughing.
I'm saying, look, I'm not even gonna sit here and say that this shit's gonna happen overnight. It is what it is. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Y'all are cooked. I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all.
Yeah, because men are checking out of marriage. Because men are like, oh, you mean to tell me you left your husband who was paying all the bills and you left him because you don't love him anymore? Oh, nah. I'm not taking that deal. You mean to tell me your man was taller than me? He was the perfect man at some point. Now he's not the good man that you thought was the Prince Charming, and now I'm supposed to come be the next man? No. So guys are checking out of marriage. And dating for that matter. But what do you guys think about that? Would changing laws help bring marriage up and divorces down? Shout out to Lapif, link down below. Till next time,